To create a to-scale print in AutoCAD of your drawing is actually very easy. But there's one thing I would like to point out first. This, for example, right now is our model space. And we also have something that's called a layout space. So the layout space is basically where you take a sheet of paper and map your world to scale object with a scale factor onto the page. So let's click on plus for creating a new layout. And then click on it. And there, for example, this is our new layout. Down here, you actually see we have something called paper and space model. So what's the difference? This is actually really important from the beginning to understand. If I move my mouse wheel, you see I zoom into the page because I'm working with the page. I can click, for example, this viewport and, for example, move it. So I decide where I would like to have my drawing to be visible. And if I go to paper, then actually I'm adjusting my drawing. So for example, I can zoom in, I can move it around. I can also, for example, click on a specific view. I have all these views also up here. I can change, for example, the type of presentation. And I have some extra elements to turn those, how could I say that, those navigation elements on and off. So let's actually start from scratch. So I'm going to paper mode, select this one and delete. Let's go to layout. And first what we would like to do is page setup. For example, modified, and then here I'm going to define, for example, my paper format, what I'm printing onto, what orientation. And this one actually, scale, you always inside plot scale, you want to keep it 1:1, because again, the scale for our drawing we establish later inside the model space. So right now I only have an 8.5 by 11 printer, so this will be okay. And then you can go to layout viewports. Now, what this viewport basically means, think about it like a projector that can look into your AutoCAD model and project it onto your page. So, for example, there. This is now kind of like the viewport. And when, for example, we switch to model and click actually, oh no, we're already in it. And then you see down here, for example, that's the scale. So we can make it to a 1:1. Obviously, it doesn't fit on our page. So maybe let's take a look at a 1:100. You see the scale factor 1:50, 1:40. So you see, that's the way then how you can, for example, map your scales according to the paper format you have. You can, for example, fine-tune this one so it all fits nicely. Enter and then switch back to paper mode. Click this one, and for example, we can adjust now this a little bit. Okay. Let's create another smaller viewport. Maybe here, there. Click on this one, go to the model space, and for example, here now, I'm setting this one to maybe an isometric view, rotate it. Okay, press enter, go back to paper mode. So that's a way how you can easily place different viewports onto your layout. For example, if you have a schedule, you can create something for the schedule to be placed. So all your different elements of your drawing, for example, you can then, through the viewports, isolate and then project onto your page. You can also, for example, turn on the three-dimensional model we have. Go to our layout. And there, for example, now you see the 3D model. In my case, I would like not to see the history. So, for example, I write show history, say 1. So I do not see it. I only see the raw three-dimensional geometry. Let's go back. And then there you see now everything what you see inside model. So you see you cannot actually, I think, have two different ways. Like here you show a certain set of layers, here you do not show a certain set of layers. But what we can do is actually we can select this viewport and then set just this one, for example, to shaded. So there you can have like different presentation styles together. One thing also what I would like to point out is when you go into model, you are really actually working on your model. So if, for example, I adjust this dimension, let's come back to model, you see it got really adjusted. So if I move this one maybe to there, let's go back to there, you see it got changed. So every time when you switch to model, it's not only that you just work on the zoom, you actually really through this viewport are looking into your three-dimensional model AutoCAD. So just be careful about it. So if, for example, I would also delete it, it's going to be deleted here. And we can actually, fortunately, undo everything. Okay, so that's pretty much the quick rundown of how, for example, you can work with the layout system. You see also here you have sections, so you can, for example, create sections inside here as well. Yeah, so that's pretty much it.